on the charts. Yeah, watching the flow, candles rise up, then they drop down low. Pips in his pocket, he's stacking it tall. Market structure trader, he's got it all. Open and range, it's the key to the game. Breakout moves, profits calling his name. Market structure leads the king. Trading waves, let the profits sing. Mean reverse and he's locked and loaded. Like the banks, his strategy's coded. Just don't lie, he reads every line. Forex indexes, he's making it shine. Positions held with precision and grace. He's in control, it's his trading space. Open and range, it's the start of the show. He's a pro, yeah, he's running the flow.
Morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Oh, I'm yellow today, aren't I? How are we doing? Happy Monday. It's, still the end of November, isn't it? Losing track of where we are. Right, so this morning we're going to do the usual look at the week ahead, basically. See where we're going news-wise. Market's just opened. No gaps on the DAX today. So we've opened pretty much exactly where we closed on Friday for a change. So market's pushing down at the minute, and we'll obviously see where we go. But the DAX is on all indices are on a fairly decent downward momentum at the moment. So this is 3 days down, two sideways. Then we gapped up and closed down again. So out of the last sort of 5-6 days, we are very bearish at the minute. So there's potential again for more downward momentum today. Looking at the DAX target wise today, Thursday's high is within ADR. Obviously we're pretty much at Friday's high at the moment. So downside targets would be Friday's low today, which is basically an ADR move to the downside. Other than that, yeah, I mean, it's just bearish as hell at the moment. So we will see where we go. Some of these old lines. Slightly more. Set for the week. So, we'll see where we go today. But there's plenty of room for movement either direction. We're at Friday's high. So if we are going down, which this should be basically higher day, but we'll see where we go. Morning, everybody. Morning, Lord. Slay, Ozjek, how we doing? Marco, Chris, Franco, Danny, how we doing? Right, so quickly looking at the news ahead while we're waiting for the market to open and actually do something. So just one sec. Okay. So today is Bank Holiday in Japan. Occasionally we do get some big movement on that. Basically, the markets take advantage of that and destroy the yen. But we'll see what happens today. The German IFO is coming out this morning and Lagarde is speaking. That's it. So there's no news today that is of any impact whatsoever. Tomorrow, we've got PPIs for the dollar, retail sales and news. We're way behind on all US news. So that's all getting caught up this week. The main news this week is all focused around Wednesday. So we've got the Australian CPI coming out on Wednesday. We've got the the New Zealand rates coming out as well. Forecast to drop down to 2.25 on that. Just realised there's no forecasts on a lot of this stuff at the moment. So potential on Wednesday, if you're in anything related to Australia and New Zealand, there's going to be a massive move overnight on that one. So the rates coming down on the New Zealand dollar should potentially be bearish, which means Australia typically will take advantage of that. But if we get negative CPI numbers coming out on the Aussie, it could go either way. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with those. Wait and see what the rate statement says. There's the press conference at 2 o'clock. That's when the forward guidance will be issued, which is what the banks and institutions are interested in, is where we'll be going next with interest rates. 2.25 is 0.25% away from target. Getting themselves down to 2% is with inflation and interest rates. If you can get yourself stable at 2% on those, you're happy. So they're not far away at all. Everything's sort of going okay New Zealand wise at the minute. Just a quick look at the fundamentals on the New Zealand dollar when you're ready. So inflation expectations 2.28 basically. So if you look at the quarterlies, it's all kind of where we want it to be. Everything is decent. So there's no reason to be bullish or bearish New Zealand dollar moving forward. We are kind of where we want to be, a little bit like the euro. They got their inflation down to the target, they got their interest rates down to target, and now the euro is just sitting around neutral. So that's the same thing that will happen to the New Zealand dollar. So therefore, anything that is bullish or bearish Australian dollar is going to drive that Australasian market. So Aussie and New Zealand will move the same with Australasian news. So Australia news rather. So that's Wednesday. We've got the budget for the pound at 12:30. So if you were around when a few years ago when Quasi released the budget, you know that the pound absolutely collapsed. We had a budget release, which was a complete change of policy when Theresa May came in, and it caused the drop from hell. Where are we? So budgets can be incredibly destructive. So it's this one here in 2022. So that was basically the budget release in 2022. So you can see an average daily candlestick is kind of this sort of size. And then that happened. Yeah, equivalent to a COVID. And then the Bank of England had to bail them out, basically. So it's unusual, very unusual for something like that to happen. But these are potential black swan events. There is massive change coming to do with taxes, to do with immigration, to do with all sorts of things in this budget. So there is potential during this budget for there to be quite a big disruption. So bear that in mind on Wednesday if you've got any pound exposure on. If you want to trade news on Wednesday, for any of the members that have been through the news trading course of the MST Academy, there's some decent opportunities potentially coming up off that budget. But the budget is released and spoken in Parliament, and it lasts a while. So it's one of those news events a little bit like FOMC, where you get that sort of movement and then bang, it will suddenly take off, and then it will go. So it's a tricky thing to trade live. But GDP coming out as well, and unemployment claims. We've got PCE as well on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. So massive news for everybody on Wednesday. Everything. Euro's not got any, but everything else has got loads of news coming out. Thursday, we've got bank holiday. We've got CPI. That's it. GDP for the CAD on Friday. I thought there was more US news. Let me just quickly check on Forex Factory to see. Oh, it is all Wednesday. Yeah, no, it's all focused. Yeah, so these are tentative still. That is definitely happening. That's usually around about 12:30. That's why that's tentative. But this is still in as tentative at the moment. We should be getting these figures, but obviously we've had the shutdown, so whether they come out or not, we'll have to wait and see. But they are due and forecast. So there's your news. Over the weekend, obviously, we haven't had a lot of news over the weekend. There's a Black Friday sale on with Financial Juice, which they're telling us about every 2 seconds. But there is potential for a tariff, as it says here, tariff sort of rollback, if you like. There's a court ruling in progress at the moment to try and stop a lot of these tariffs that Trump's put in place from a legal perspective. So there's potential for some big upset this week to do with this. We've also got the Ukraine draft peace agreement, which was issued at the end of last week. He's got until Thursday, I think it is, to sort that out, or Friday. I think it's Thursday. So he's been given basically a week to sort it out. Zelensky will have to like my plan. So basically, the US trying to step in and basically rule another country by telling them what they can and can't do. Zelensky's not going to go for that, I don't think. So there is potential for, again, more upset there. So Trump will probably kick off when Zelensky rejects that. So be aware this week could be a pretty busy week from other news perspective, basically. So there's a lot of sort of setting up for explosive moves. Right. Talking about explosive moves, there isn't one on the DAX today. So 5-minute range is in, too small. So small movement on the DAX today, not enough to really trade. The 10-minute range is in just under a minute. 63. Might get one on that. What is the range today? Tradable. 609. Yeah, so we're going to get one on the 10-minute range today. So as soon as that candle closes, we'll be on the 10. Thanksgiving on Thursday in USA, is it? Okay, so markets will be shut. There we go. So there's your 10-minute range in, exactly 15% of ADR, pretty much. Have I got bank? No, I've got bank holidays on. Oh, Thursday. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Thursday. Yeah. So yeah, Thursday. Nothing happening. So there's your Thanksgiving holiday on Thursday. So markets will be shut in the afternoon. So do not try and trade the opening range breakout on Thursday. You will fail. It will not work. So don't try that. So bear with me a sec. I'm just adjusting. Right. So there's all your news covered. This thing's dead as a doornail at the moment. So tricky open today. Well, it's not tricky, it's just dead. So I get the feeling the 15-minute range may well be an inside bar. Just have to wait and see if we get any traction on that. Right, let's look at the FX markets. So there's not any ADRs today. Market has opened, as you can see, everywhere. Very, very quiet and tight this morning. Everything Australasian markets wise, dead. Nothing's moved in Australia at all. The yen is totally silent. It's obviously bank holiday. So yeah, there's just literally nothing going on today. So there's nothing to look at from an ADR perspective. Obviously with the weeklies, it's the first day of the week. The biggest mover we've had at the moment has been on metals. Silver specifically 175% of its monthly range. That's the big mover at the moment. So there is potential on that for a decent move. Let's just quickly, where are we monthly? Oh, we've already had it actually, haven't we? 175. So that did that do that all in 1 week? It did, didn't it? 6348. 759. Oh, sorry, monthly, yeah. Yeah, so that was the double top rejection, wasn't it? The monthly. So yeah, that's gone. Apart from that, there's we're in November the 24th. There's not a lot that's exceeded AMR at the moment, average monthly ranges. So there's not really much opportunity out there at the minute. Trade's just gone in on the DAX. Long on the DAX. So upside targets nice and clear and easy today. So that is your high from Thursday. That's the propulsion move at the open on Thursday. I presume that's the open. Must be. New York. Not actually. That's just where we took off on Thursday. So that move there basically the origin of that move, just be aware that we might get some friction sort of somewhere around this area. But other than that, you're looking at testing up here as well within ADR, so easy to reach. We've just broken out of Friday's high, so this is a move to the upside potentially, just to test if we can test Thursday's levels. Yeah, nice easy break to the upside. There we go. RSIs today, there's nothing much to look at on here either. So Euro Swiss is the only RSI extension that's worth looking at today, and that is a beautiful weekly double top coming in. So that is your 2-week high and last week's high. Sorry, that's your 2-week high and 3-week high. We've got coming up within ADR today, and it's extended, and you've got divergence. So we've got a divergence going. Actually, it's not divergence anymore. It was when I looked on Friday on this one. It was bearish divergence, but that now has pushed up to new highs. So RSI above the 80 level. The 80 levels and 20 levels on RSI are kind of your Goldilocks zone. It's incredibly rare that we do not get those pullbacks from 80-20s. So you've got resistance coming up as well there. So beautiful short opportunity coming up on that one. Stick a fib on it and just look at basically this entire move from the last 2 weeks, basically. And pullback levels on that, you're looking at this one being your 38 retracement. Your 50 to 61.8 retracement is this propulsion move to the downside. So a flag break long would come back down into there. A pullback continuation in market structure could be either of those two. So really nice, easy short and easy target to the downside on that Euro Swiss. Pound Swiss, pretty much the same. Don't trade both. They're very, very similar. That's also coming up to the 2-week, 3-week high, which is this propulsion move to the downside. They've sold out 3 times now. So this could be the 4th on that. Obviously, bear in mind we are bearish. Swiss franc, pretty strong at the minute. We are extended and embedded above RSI, so you can tell that that's been a strong continuous push. So looking for a push back down into propulsion. Not quite as nicely set up as the euro, that one, but it's there or thereabouts. If you get into anything pound related though, just be aware Wednesday you're going to want to be out, or you're going to want to protect it a little bit in some respect, because we've no idea what's going to happen to the pound on Wednesday in the budget. May do absolutely nothing. Yeah, the budget may come out. It's all pre-forecast. We know what's happening. It's not going to affect business. The real reason that this will move on Wednesday when the budget comes out is if Reeves releases anything that is going to be affecting industry and commerce, basically. So if that is she puts anything in place, like she puts up corporation tax by 5% or something, that is going to stifle business. It's going to increase unemployment, and that is going to kill the pound. If she taxes individuals, i.e. she puts a wealth tax in place or some other tax in place that is just going to make rich people a little bit poorer, that is going to bolster it. So we have to just wait and see. There's a lot of planned stuff, and you usually know what's going to come out in the budget beforehand. But like we had previously with Theresa May and Kwasi Kwarteng, you can just drop a bomb. So you have to just be aware that this is kind of a ticking time bomb until Wednesday, all pound pairs. US dollar Swiss as well, same setup. These three, obviously, they're all Swiss franc. You've got your 3-week high coming up on that one. Lovely rejection at the moment at last week's high. You've got a beautiful rejection candlestick going in there. We're extended and embedded. We've got RSI divergence in play. Again, same thing. All 3 of these are the same. Yeah, so they're highly correlated. So just be aware, obviously, that there's potential. If you're getting all 3 of these and they all go against you, they're going to go into drawdown at the same time. So, just trade 1 or maybe 2. But yeah, looks good. So those are your only setups at the moment on the 4 hours. There's no hourly RSI extensions at all. So that's pretty much it. Anybody got anything else I want to look at? Because there's nothing much else going on forex wise at the moment. We're just all setting up and waiting for stuff to kind of kick in and happen, aren't we? So clean break on the DAX. We're off to the upside nicely. Yeah, all good. So member stream, we're doing at, where are we? And this morning we got member stream at 9 o'clock. This member stream, if there's any members in here, just want to do a sort of Q&A style session today and figure out what to do moving forward with the streams, because we've finished all the MST Academy content now. So we've kind of covered everything. So all that we're really going to be doing from now on is looking at any new strategies that come up, of which there isn't much at the minute that I'm looking at. I'm looking at the turtle strategy variation that we've already looked at in the member stream. We looked at that gold scalping strategy, which is pretty much the same as ORB. But there's nothing much else coming up on that side of things at the moment. Nobody sent me any of their plans of what they're doing with position trading, so I assume everybody's just trading RSI extensions, which is fine. So I've not really got anything to go through specifically in the member streams at the moment, because we've finished all the content. You know, I can't make up stuff to do. Everything that you need to know about trading and being successful is in all of these modules. There's nothing else I can give you because everything is there. So it's a case of really just reinforcing everything in here. So in this morning's member stream, I just wanted to go through and look at stuff that we could potentially do and talk about. It might be a case of what I'm going to do is drop the member streams down and do less of them per week, but more focused. So just really this morning, I wanted to do a kind of brainstorm session, if you like, and look at what we can cover. If there's any lessons that people want reinforcement on, that sort of thing. Because, you know, at the minute, really, you know everything I know. And there's only a certain number of strategies we can do. I've got a breakout strategy. I've got a mean reversion strategy. I've got a trend strategy in the pipeline, although they always tend to be long burners. But apart from that, that's it. We're done, aren't we? So this morning, we're just going to do a bit of a brainstorming session and have a think about what we want to do and how we want to do it moving forward. Because the idea was to go through and just repeat this over and over again. But there's not enough new members really coming on board to warrant doing that. So there's no point in me just repeating myself over and over again. If you want reinforcement on a particular lesson, you can go and watch it again. So I can deliver the same thing over and over again, but I just don't see the point, to be honest. It's just, you know, being there for being there's sake, isn't it? So that's what we're going to do this morning, just have a kind of brainstorming session, because everything's complete, which is great. So we'll do that this morning, and that's at 9 o'clock. Watch this area here, potentially for a pullback. Anybody got any other pairs they want to look at from a FX perspective this morning? Let me know. See what Aussie New Zealand's up to. Coming down nicely again. So I basically said last week to watch this propulsion gap here for a reversal, continuation. So there's your reversal alert and there's your retest. So there's your M pattern continuation. So we're looking basically for pushes down into these propulsion areas. So that would be your first target, which is around about 400 ADR, 400% of ADR. Pushing up slightly this morning, but obviously we've got all the news coming out on this one on Wednesday. So Aussie and New Zealand news. So this could go absolutely anywhere. So if you are Aussie New Zealand short still and we managed to get down to here and you didn't get out, I'd get out. Just in case, because if this thing goes parabolic and starts retesting these highs, it's not coming back because the New Zealand dollar's got to where it wants to be. So could well be we get strength in the Aussie. Equally, the Aussie could collapse. So yeah, just bear in mind this one. This has been a parabolic move. And obviously with parabolic moves, we get parabolic retracements usually. But this is, uncharacteristically strong. But, you know, we covered this one last week, didn't we? Every parabolic move to the upside has a parabolic move to the downside. So I think maybe Wednesday's catalyst will be what we need to get it back down to that 72 moving average, which is down these monthly lows. But I did have a whiz through everything this morning quickly before I came on. Struggling to find any opportunities anywhere at the moment. It's all flat as a pancake, the market. Everything's sideways. We're 2 months sideways on most stuff at the minute. So it's all range bound. So with RSI extensions, obviously, you're just watching those hourlies and just taking the longs and taking the shorts. Yeah, it's just everything's playing out. So far this month, I've banked 18%. Well, in 5 weeks, 18.35%. Literally, I'm in nothing but I'm in a DAX long, which is in 0.5% of drawdown. I'm in a Dow long, so I'm in the DAX from here. I'm in the Dow from the same place, pretty much. Yeah, I'm in a Dow long, and I'm in a pound CAD. Pound long, yeah. So I'm in pound CAD long as well, and that's absolutely at break even. So I'm at exact break even now on 4 positions. So target on that pound CAD, I've literally got, if we get back up into these highs by Wednesday, I'm done on the pound. So yeah, it's all a bit flat at the moment. I mean, I say flat. It's nice when you look at your P&L and you're sitting in 0.71% of drawdown with there's no problems anywhere, and you got 18% in the bank. You know, I would love the market to stay like this every month, but unfortunately, it doesn't do that. But you can't help but make money in this type of market. Yeah, if all we're doing is rotating, you know. But what we're doing is basically playing bank rotation, aren't we? And all the banks are doing is rotating. You can't get it wrong, basically. So, yeah. Easy peasy, but boring as hell. This is the other thing, you know, with a member stream, there's nothing much to talk about, is there? From a position trading perspective, when you look at position trading, what we do is we sit here for 99.9% of the time, waiting for something to go ping. We press a button, and that's it. Then we sit there for a week waiting for the profit to come in. That's all we do as position traders. It's not really an enthralling live stream, is it? It's not something I can get, hey, let's do a position trading session. Because it's literally what I've done this morning. Euro Swiss is extended, go short. Wait for a reversal signal, go short. That's it. Done. Euro CAD, Euro odd. We can look at those two. Yeah, I mean, it's the same. There was your long. That was your short there, which you would have scaled in. In fact, you would have got in there. Actually, you wouldn't even got in that, would you? That's not even a signal. Look. So this one here, you didn't get an entry on that because there was no bearish price action. Then it gapped down. If you're using the EA would have filtered out that time. By the time it got a signal, it was not extended. So you'd have been in from here, short. You'd have been in long from there. You'd have been in short maybe from there if you took that. You might have been in short there, but right now it's sat in the middle of nowhere doing nothing. So we've got an intermediate range basically, which is in play at the moment. So you've got your range high, which is the monthly level here. And you've got your range low, which is the monthly levels here. So this is the last 2 months lows. You've got this parabolic move to the upside, which I guess was news. It was this news here. But this is your range. This is anomaly. So yeah, could go either way. But again, this is Wednesday, isn't it? So euro is at the moment neutral. We are at interest rate target. We are at inflation target. There is absolutely no reason to be bullish or bearish on that at all. Australian dollar, one of those is going to change with that CPI number on Wednesday. So this is either going to go bull or bear. So it's either coming up to test this propulsion area and this high, or we're going to come down and we're going to test these weekly and monthly lows. One of them two, but bang in the middle of nowhere, flip a coin. Euro CAD, same. So this propulsion move here that broke that high is holding at the moment. They're buying this up over and over again. You've got a sort of very awkward to trade range in at the moment with many levels. So at the moment, I'd be looking for shorts up here. That was your last entry short on the 4 hour. Along there. But yeah, I'm not really doing a lot either, is it? So if you're long on it, you were long maybe from here at the 25. You were short from the 75. Short from the 75. You know what I mean? There's nothing really I can look at that is not going to be profitable at the minute. Everything is just playing out. It's one of those periods where you just wait for the market to just get from range to range to range. So if you're going to take any trades, always take trades from range highs and range lows, ideally, because then you've got the buyers on your side and the sellers on your side, depending which way you're going. But if it's bang in the middle of nowhere, you may as well flip a coin. It's either coming down there or it's going up there. Sounds obvious, but that's all it does. It goes up and it goes down, as we know, as we've covered in the academy. Yeah, all the price ever does is go up and go down. So, we've looked at the how and why the market's moved. We've looked at visualizing the two outcomes. So this lesson is all about knowing where market's going. It's not hard, is it? There are only two things it can do. I've been looking at a strategy, actually, talking about not having anything to talk about in the member streams, but I've been looking at developing an indicator potentially based on daily price movement, which I'm working on a concept for at the moment, which is basically, I've just named it red and green. Very simple. So it's all about just playing the flip from the open, which is something we used to do in stocks. So you have the flip basically. So if you visualize a candlestick, obviously you have an open, a high, a low, and a close, and that creates your candlestick for the day. So when you get the open, that's what we call the flip in stock trading. So what you're doing when you're pushing above the open is potentially creating an opportunity to close out a nice bear candle. Yeah. So I'm working on a concept at the moment to gather data for averages and standard deviations from highs and lows to give us kind of target zones, if you like. A little bit like Bollinger would work, but Bollinger's just rubbish. It works, but it's not great. So I'm working on an indicator at the moment to try and formulate a binary strategy, basically, based on that type of flip movement. Because if you think about a candlestick like we had on Thursday on the DAX, let's look at it on this platform because it's easier. If you look at the Thursday candle on the DAX, anywhere here that you took a sell on Thursday, doesn't matter where you took it, if you used basically a percentage of ADR as a stop loss, you can't not make money, which is a minimum of 2 to 3R on it. Same with any move that you see where we've got wicks basically to the upside or the downside of the candle. And if you look at 99.9% of candles in the market, they all have upside and downside wicks. You get the odd ones on stock indices, which don't. But, upside and downside wicks are your norm. So the vast majority of the day, when you're pushing in one direction, it's going to flip. So if you're pushing long and you visualize a bear candle, anywhere you take a trade at that wick, in that wick area, you've got a massive risk reward opportunity depending on how you get in and what you use as spacing. So I'm working on some mathematical calculations at the moment to basically create a trading strategy based on that. And it's basically a one in, one out strategy. So if we push up in the morning, we'll look at the probabilities of bull and bear candles. So over the last 20 days, if you've got stock indices are likely to be more bias weighted long. So you probably have something like 13 long candles and 7 short candles. Basically, if that is the normal mathematical average for the last 20 days in a stock index, every time you get from the open a downward movement, the assumption would be with a high probability, you're going to end with a bull candle, right? So if the market opens and pushes down, it's going to create a downside wick. If you take a trade anywhere in that downside wick with a half ADR stop loss on it, the chances are you're going to get an ADR movement to the upside, because if it goes bull, you've got all of that movement available to you. So getting a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio with a strike rate around about that level, 60%, shouldn't be a problem. So I'm just looking at the maths behind it at the moment. I've had AI working on it for me, gathering data over the weekend. So I'm going to start building an indicator based on that. But it may go nowhere, may be brilliant, I don't know. But it's just literally like the opening range breakout strategy. Yeah, it either will or it won't. And it's a very much a binary thing, isn't it? So we've broken long today. We're either going to break long today and we're going to go long, or we're not. And if we're not, what's going to happen today? Yeah. So if this move that we're seeing here on the DAX today is an upside rejection, what's it going to do? Create a wick. There's the flip. That's where we opened. So what's going to happen when we put a bear candle in? That. So what do? We take the break short and we take the profit there. Yeah. So it's the same strategy as ORB, but what it would be instead of taking the breakout, you mean revert the breakout. Yeah. And assume that you're going to get the opposite candle. But you can do all of this based on statistics, basically based on 20 days on moving averages. And if basically we go into a bear market, you want to sell all the wicks to the upside. If we go into a bull market, you want to buy all the wicks to the downside every day, because statistical averages say that there's going to be more bull candles than bear candles. So if you've got more than a 50% strike rate on bull candles, and every time we push down, you buy it, maths says you can't really be wrong, doesn't it? So I'm working on that in a minute. Yeah, I'll let you know, but we'll cover that probably in a members stream in more detail once I've got the maths done on it. Right, not a lot happening at the minute, so we're a bit meh at the moment. We are long, so we'll see if we can get up to target. Obviously, Thursday's high would be my initial upside target. I'll probably get out there if we get there. I'm just going to move my TP down. So this is 1 ADR. So I'm going to assume that we're not going to be massively strong with all the news we've got coming up this week. So partial and full will be there. And if we obviously, like I just said, if this is an upside break that's going to fail, we're going to get back down to the open, which is here. And this will be an upside wick, which will turn into a bear candle. So that will be our target to the downside. There we go. That's all I got for today. There's nothing much else to look at. It's absolutely dire out there at the moment. I say it's not dire, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, making loads of money, but it's just not exciting, is it? There's nothing really happening. So until we get this news kicking in this week, I think we're in for a bit of a quiet one. So kicks off tomorrow afternoon with PPIs, and then Wednesday is the focal point for the news this week. Thursday it's going to be dead. Friday will be a big day on the stock indices. So Friday, potentially we've got a lot of movement coming in. So whenever you ever have a bank holiday in the US, obviously people still want to buy stocks. So the reason we get big days the following day after bank holidays usually is you get a backlog of orders coming in on that Thursday. Yeah, so if I want to buy the NASDAQ on a Thursday as a bank in the UK, in Europe, and anywhere else in the world, I can't. So what you do is you get a stack of orders build up, and then at the open on Friday, all those orders come in and you get massive breakouts. So potentially we've got big movement coming in on Friday, but Thursday, obviously, there won't be much happening. So be aware of that with the DAX as well. The European markets tend to be quiet when the US markets are shut. So we do get movement, but be aware of the DAX. Don't try and push the DAX on Thursday. If we go like that at the open, just walk away. Like we did on Friday. Friday was one of those days where it just went like that. And you just have to go, nah. Done. Right, there we go. That's all for today. So I'm back at 9 o'clock for the members stream. So members, if any of you in here, I know there's a couple of you in here. We're just going to basically do kind of a what the hell should we do next kind of session. So I just want to get some ideas of what people want to do so that I can plan some sessions out. The problem is, obviously, as I say, there's not much else I can really tell you. I just do what I do every day, and I have been for years, and it works. And it's a case of I do that anyway. So if there's more structure you want around specific strategies and things like that, that's what we want to talk about, really. So that's 9 o'clock. And then, any ideas, we'll just bat them out, basically. So Wednesday, as normal, back members stream in the morning, and then afternoon session on the NASDAQ. Friday, members stream, and Friday afternoon, NASDAQ Dow at the US Open. So there we go. That's all from me. Oh, by the way, just in case you didn't know, on the main website, the Black Friday sale is now on. If you want 25% off all EAs, a lot of people have been taking the bundle. So the bundle basically is all of my EAs on all platforms, 5 licenses for each, with 50% off. So now, with the extra 25% off, as you can see, the bundle price is like 170 quid or something, I think it is. 147 quid for the lot, everything. Yeah. So, fill your boots if you want them. Any EAs you want to get hold of now, they're 25% off while Black Friday's on. But if you want the whole bundle, that's a massive saving. So go and grab it if you want it while it's there. I don't know how long I'm going to keep the sale on for. I'll see how many bundles go. If I start selling too many, I'll turn it off. But obviously it's not Black Friday. So it will be going on for the week. DAX is pushing up. So we've got a flag break long, hopefully. So if we break that high, we should get up to target. That area there you want to be watching out for. I bought the POS EA today. I had from MQL5. Cool, well done. Thank you for that. Well, don't thank me. Congratulations, you just bought a really good EA. POS is mashing it at the moment. It's just can't help make money, basically. I'm working on, I'll give you a little preview. Sneak peek coming up. So this, it's even got a code name, look. This is the multi-symbol EA version 8.03. He says creeping it in. And basically what this is the position trader EA version 4. Been trading for a year. Cool. So what this is basically is position trader EA version 4. This is a working prototype. But what it has in here is all the normal position trading functionality, including a correlation filter. So the correlation filter, you can set a correlation threshold and correlation period. And basically what it would do is it will trade all symbols from one chart. So there's just one chart running and it trades every single symbol in the market watch, or any symbols that you set. You can input a list, but I just use the market watch. But basically what it will do is it will automatically check correlation basically when it takes a trade. So for example, the Aussie CAD is 66% correlated with Euro Yen. Therefore, it will not trade the Aussie CAD because it's too correlated. You can obviously adjust the correlations. But the CAD Yen will not trade because the Euro CAD is correlated 70% with it. Therefore, there's no trade on the CAD Yen. Yeah, but it does tell you what it's monitoring. So it says at the moment with the current portfolio that you have open, I will trade Euro New Zealand or oil if trades come up on those, because these are not correlated to 60% on the 4-hour time period over the last 50 candles with anything you've actually got active and open. Yeah, so this is it's dynamic correlation, which is calculated every candle, every 4 hours, basically, in this case, because I'm trading 4-hour correlation. Ignore all the statistics. This is the demo account that's been trading a lot of EAs, so that this is all crap. Basically, I use 999 as my EA magic number for everything. So this is picking up every trade that's ever been traded on this account with 999 as the magic number. That's not the actual statistics before you start saying that's crap. It is crap because it's not real. But as you can see, it's trading all 34 active symbols and basically manages the correlation for you. So it has built into it a correlation filter, auto trading ADR and RSI. You can obviously do the normal risk management, the normal scale-ins. You can have the exit targets as normal in there. It also does symbol or trade-related drawdown. And it also has all the functionality from the trade portfolio dashboard built into it as well. So you can do automatic drawdown control in the same way as the trade portfolio dashboard does now as well. So I've kind of tried to merge trade portfolio dashboard with a position trader EA and introduce correlation into it. One thing I've removed from it is the spread filter, because I have found with that spread filter that is in the position trader EA, it's just not something I'm using at the moment because, sorry, not spread filter, the swap filter. If you've got a correlation filter in place, you're not going to get over leveraged on high swap things anyway. So I've removed that part of it. The only thing that I really introduced that for was for yen pairs. So if you look through everything, most stuff's got a fairly decent swap. The reason I introduced that was because we had this massive swap on the yen pairs, but you can take the yen pairs out basically, or you can set them to be long onlys. But I removed that functionality from it because I've found that I'm just not using it now. So it did become a massive part of my focus, but that's because I was trading a lot of yen at the time. And really, that was the only thing that got me killed with, when I look at it, was that, the yen pairs. So all the other pairs out there, Aussie New Zealand's coming down nicely, are all got very nice swaps now. So I can always introduce this back in. But anyway, so that's what I've been working on. It's going into live testing, forward testing. Well, it's actually in forward testing at the moment, but not proper forward testing. So this week I'm going to start forward testing that for functionality to make sure it executes properly. And hopefully I'll have that out before Christmas. But we'll see. You don't recognize me. It's Vitaly. No, I don't recognize you because your name is not the same as it used to be. They've changed all the names. So your name is now VS Serber. Is that going to be just for MT5? Yes. Yeah, so this is not going to be for MT4. It'll be MT5 only. Because it's multi symbol, yeah. So multi symbol EAs on MT4 aren't great. You can't test them. So basically, what it allows you to do, this is a brilliant thing, is on the strategy tester, yeah. For example, I can basically have all these pairs set up. Okay, so it's basically trading all FX pairs. I don't know what the settings are, but when you start a strategy test, this is going to kill my computer. Might take a while. So when you start a strategy test, we can now position trade. We can back test position trading with multiple symbols in one test, and also at the same time do drawdown control on multiple symbols. So you can get a complete back test with all symbols in one go, but not just a complete back test of how they were performed individually, how they would have interacted with each other individually based on correlation and based on using profits from one symbol to pay off the other symbol's drawdown. Yeah. So it does everything in one test that you could possibly want to do as a position trader. So it's a full position trading back test. That doesn't seem to be running for some reason. I think it might be gathering data. I don't know how much. It's probably getting data. Did I set? I'm not on visual mode, you idiot. Stop. There we go. I'm not in visual mode, that's why. Oh, that's so big over there. So yeah, you see it opens up every single instrument, hourly charts, 5-minute charts, and daily charts. Yeah, because obviously it needs the daily charts to calculate ADR. So it opens up a chart for every symbol on every time frame. So this is trading H1M5, and it'll also open up those dailies. But it's running on the euro US dollar, but obviously it will trade every symbol eventually when it's got all its data, which can take a while. How many processors have I got working? It's just gathering all the data at the minute. Might take a while. But yeah, MT5 only, because you can't do multi-symbol strategy testing in MT4. So it doesn't seem much point in me coding it for MT4. If you can get an MT4 account, you can get an MT5 account. Yeah, but this will be this. The beauty of this is you can set it up to do 100% full automation now. So when this is trading away, if I see something that is getting out of control, so I mean, there isn't anything here, but like the NASDAQ, for example, it's got 3 trades on the NASDAQ there. And I've got other stuff coming to profit. So at any moment, I can open it up and go, okay, I want you to do drawdown control on any symbol. And I've got a NASDAQ trade here, which is 0.3% in drawdown. So I want you to focus on anything that is over 0.3% in drawdown. And I want you to use any profit from anything that is in 0.25 in profit, yeah, and I want you to shut 50% of that out. So what it will do is, by me just doing those settings there, it will then redo the correlation analysis. That's complete. It takes a while. And then it will basically start to do drawdown control, but its focal point will be what I've told it to focus on, which is this trade here, which is a 30% drawdown. So you can have it on full automation, obviously, but you can tweak the drawdown control settings live to let it focus on where your problem areas lie, which is what you can do with the trade portfolio dashboard as well, obviously. But I thought if I build it into the position trader EA, the automated drawdown control, everything's in one place there. So rather than using 2 tools, you just use the one tool. But that's doing. I've started a back test, and I've started it doing. Correlation analysis at the same time, which is probably not the best thing in the world to do. That's going to struggle. None of this is going to work. I've asked it to do way too much in one go, so I'll scrap that test. But anyway, that's what's coming up. But it's it's quite complicated, so it's going to need quite a lot of forward testing, that, unfortunately. Right, I'll leave it there today. Let's just quickly see what the DAX is doing before I go. Member stream starts in 8 minutes. So we're on our way to target. So watch that area there, basically, for potential resistance. So this move down here, that was your last support. So we might find some sellers jumped ship. So we had stops there, basically. So everyone that was long there would have flipped and reversed. So if they stop and reversed, that's where they'll add to their shorts. So just be aware when we get there, you might find a little bit of resistance coming in. But yeah, nice break today. So hopefully decent profit. Right, I'll be back on Wednesday afternoon as usual. Member stream starts in 7 minutes. And obviously we'll cover what we're going to cover in that this morning. All right, so have a good day. Anything you need, let me know. I'll be Discord or Telegram. Other than that, I will see you next time.
Yeah. Click, clack, charts attack, candlesticks, they spark the track. Lead move silent, market crack, profit stack, no turning back. Opening range, that's the game. Breakout hits, never the same. Algorithms play, but he rewires the frame. Banks whisper his name. Flipping forex, indices flex, numbers dance. What's coming next? Green lights flash, P&L stretch. Risk managed, he never sweats. West fact buzzing, traders peep. Lessons deep, no time to sleep. Market's a beast, league got the leash. Feast at the feast, his game's elite. Market structures is domain. Leads the king, they know his name. Breakout sharp, he fuels the flame. Trading charts is not a game. Pip by pip, he stacking high. Mean reversion, banks comply. Leads the reason markets run. Leads the reason markets run. Candles lit, wicks on fire, spread so tight the stakes get higher. Institutional flow, he's the supplier. Positions held till charts retire. Data feeds, news he reads, Fibonacci maps the seeds. Supply demand his mind exceeds. Trades ignite like lightning speed. Stop loss tight, take profit wide. Leads precision, unmatched drive. Liquidity pools, banks coincide. Retail's blind, leads the guide. Charts unfold, the stories told. Entry bold, accounts in gold. Trade by trade, the wins are sold. Market alchemy, legends mode. Whoa, 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 whoa. Markets run. Lead the reason markets run. Lead the reason markets run.
To a glowing screen, charts and candles, the digital sheet.